Hello ukulele friends, and welcome back to another instructional video. Today we are working on a song called The Old Rugged Cross. This is an oldie but a goodie. Now we are going to be playing this one again in the key of G. So the chords are going to be the same as the chords we had for Leaning on the Everlasting Arms. And because it is in 6/8 time, the strumming pattern also will be familiar. It's going to be the strumming pattern we used from How He Loves if you joined us for that video. So let's go ahead and get started by taking a look at our chord sheet. Here's what your chord sheet looks like for The Old Rugged Cross. If you were in one of our early rehearsals, I handed this to you, but if you need to download one, you can head over to the church's website and go to the ukulele page and find a PDF of it there. Much like our other chord sheets, you're going to start at the beginning where it says intro, and you will read all the way down the first page. Then you're going to head over to page 2, starting with verse 3, and read down the second page. In the past, I've given you the chord pictures so that you remember what they look like and how to make them. We've played these chords so many times I didn't feel that was necessary. We're going to review the chords here in a moment, and if you need to, you can feel free to draw the pictures at the bottom of the first page. On the second page, I did give you the strumming pattern, and it's going to be the same throughout the entire song. And it is one that's familiar to you, but we'll also review that in just a moment. Here are the chords that you need to play The Old Rugged Cross. We've got our G chord, our C chord, and both our D and our D7. Now, we are going to need to talk about that D and that D7, and I feel like that's probably the thing I talk about the most when it comes to chords is D and D7. However, because these two line up back to back during the song a couple times, we need to talk about how we're going to play them. When we play our D, we are using our pointer, our middle, and our ring finger all in a row. If you look in the verse, you are going from D to D7. Typically, I tell you to play your D7 with your pointer and your middle finger because you're normally coming from a G chord. However, this time, because you're coming from D, we're not going to move anybody. We're just going to attempt to pick up our middle finger. Now, you might find that harder than it just looked for me. Because I play the piano, it's very simple for me just to pick up a finger. That it might be, especially depending on your age, a little bit harder for you to pick up a finger, especially in the middle. It doesn't need to go super high. It just needs to be off of the string. Like, it doesn't need to be all the way up. It can be down just a little bit, just out of the way, as long as it's off the string. That will be the difference between your D and your D7. And it comes in handy because this song has this very specific tone to it. The D7 is a very important chord. Typically, I will tell you that you can play whichever one and it won't necessarily matter. In this song, it does matter because sometimes the note you need to sing, or other people are singing, is the note that you're going to start to play because you picked up that finger in your D7. So try your best to play your Ds and your D7s where they are written in this song. Here's our strumming pattern for The Old Rugged Cross. It should look familiar if you've been with us for other songs. This is the strumming pattern that we used in How He Loves. In fact, I took the picture of the strumming pattern from How He Loves. We're going to do down strums on the numbered counts. So every time we hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, we are down strumming. All you need to figure out is when you need to strum up. We're strumming up after numbers 2 and 3, and 5 and 6. It might sound complicated, however, I think this was probably one of the easiest rhythms we had. And the nice thing is, if you get lost, you just down strum until you find the beat again. So I'm going to use a G chord because it's the first chord in the song. And if I take my G chord, I go 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 5, and 6, and all we're doing is emphasizing the big beats in 6/8 because typically in our minds we count it in 2. If you conduct it in 2. Those are the big beats. Then our downs are the subdivision, and then our other ones are the subdivision of the subdivision. So if you want to get technical. So it's down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down. 1, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Once you get get going with the rhythm, because it doesn't change, you're not going to have any problems with it. Even you might miss the chord, but I have a feeling you will probably just keep strumming. So I think you're going to be really successful with this strumming pattern, and I think because these chords are very familiar, you will also be successful with the entire song. So let's go ahead and get ready as we get ready to play. Here's a couple things to think of. The strumming pattern for our entire song is the same throughout the entire time. All of your chords are the same for all of the verses. And in typical arrangement fashion, the way I like to do things, the chords are all the same for all of the choruses until the very last chorus. If you look at the bottom of the second page, you'll find that there is one extra line added to that chorus. That's called a tag. We just repeated the last line one more time. It's just a way to end the song so that people know that it's actually over this time. All right, friends, let's play through the entire song. We're starting with our G chord in the intro. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Dearest
guys, that is the Old Rugged Cross. Now, much like the last song, just depending on how you prefer your hymns to be played, it can go faster or slower. This happens to be your 8th note at 110 if you're that curious. But I think you're going to be very successful with this one. It's a little tricky to sing, but much easier to play. So practice your chords, practice your strumming, and you're going to be fantastic at this song. So happy practicing, and I'll see you again real soon.